personal logging stories. I guess it had to be my personal logging stories. But anyways, God, there's so much. But in the same question that when he asked about he said something about the heights. If climbing the trees bothered me, what? And I think I have the same fear as most people probably do. I don't think anybody really likes it. Even the people that do it all the time be like, oh, I love being up here. There's still a little bit of fear in it. Excitement, maybe not fear, maybe excitement. But anyways, I'd worked for my dad. My dad was logging and stuff, so I've been around logging my whole life. But I went to work for, I'm not sure if I can say the name after the other day. Anyways, the first company I went to work for after I was 18 wasn't my dad or, somebody like that. And I'd been there a couple, 3 weeks, but, I was still the new guy. And they broke the skyline. Well, I'd never seen a skyline break before. Anyway, so it went through the tube. It broke right by the tube, just like it did on us the other day. And I was working on a 98 Skagit at a 110-foot tower. So got everything, we got the line cut, did everything we was gonna have to do, and now we gotta. I was like, how the heck do we get it back up through that thing? And they're like, oh, well, watch this. So they take a marlin spike into the haulback and they put a chain in it. Just goes, kind of loops around your legs and make a little basket out of it. And the hook tender brings out another rigging chain and he starts wrapping one in the skid line. I'm like, safety? And he's like, oh, gotta have one for each of us. And I was like, what do you mean one for each of us? He's like, well, I can't do it up there by myself. I'm gonna need your help. And, when I broke in, you didn't get to say no. You said no, or I don't feel comfortable doing that. You went looking for another job. So, up this tower we go, and I was riding a haulback. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It was pretty cool. I knew the guy who was running yarder was a dang good yarder engineer, so I trusted him. Get clear to the top. Skyline ship, you can't reach it from the skid line ship. And I'm like, what now? And he's like, you gotta get out, walk around the guy line ring. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And by this point, I'm like, yeah, right, this guy's just trying to fill me full of BS. Oh, he finagles himself around, and next thing I know, he's out of the chain, and he's walking around this guy line circle. I'm like, oh my God, he's serious. So, I did it. I was not very happy about it, but I did it. And I was alright with it, I was looking down, watching the guys down below. They're hooking the hay wire up to the skid line, pull it up so we can rethread the skyline. And I'm not sure what made me do it, but I looked up, and when I looked up, it was pretty much a sunny day, but there were a few clouds. Anyways, there was a cloud going by, and I almost fell off because I thought that I thought the tube was falling over. It scared me so freaking bad. And the hook tender, he knew immediately what I'd done. He started laughing, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, when you're up here, don't look up. It's not a good idea. So I was like, oh, thanks for telling me now, dude. We got it rethreaded. Seemed like it took forever. Go ahead, Darwin. Seemed like it took forever, but I'm sure it didn't. But it was kind of spooky. Let me get back to you. Sorry, I had to talk to the cutter for a minute. Anyway, so we get it retreaded. Like I said, it seems like it took forever. Just because I was scared, mostly. We get all done, get it rethreaded. And the hook tender told me, because I was on the back side, I don't remember exactly why, but we had to get a chain up the tube with us. An extra chain. I don't remember what it. Anyway, so get it all rethreaded and everything. Alright, you can come down, chicken, weenie, you know, blah blah blah. I get all the way down. I'm taking my little basket or chain, whatever you want to call it, off. And the hook tender, or no, the chaser goes, why does it look so funny up there? I look up. There's that chain hanging up there. So the hook tender, I know that he realized that it was up there before we left. We come down and I mean he hauled ass getting this chain. Like I say, it just kind of goes around your waist when you hang on like that. Hauled ass getting out of that thing. He's like, well, you do. Boys are really, oh man, you know, we're gonna work 2 9-hour days in a row. Oh my god. Anyway, so he says, well, you still got your chain on, go back up. I'm like, you dirty, rotten, foot's up. So back up this thing I go. Get all the way up there. Get the chain off. Come all the way back down. We were hung out quite a ways, so we only had like, I don't remember, it wasn't very much skyline on the drum. So instead of long splicing it back together, we just cut it off where it was, put a nub on it, put it back on the drum. Picked it back up. By this time it's quitting time, everything's all good, yeehaw, you know, good, let's go home, drink some beer, right on. And I'm still pretty much shaking in my boots. They're all patting me on the back, you know, good job. Those guys would have quit, whatever. And I'm like, well, I really don't have that option. So, get there the next morning. And if any of you tower loggers are watching right now, you know what I'm talking about. The sound of a nub going through the tube has got a specific heart-stopping clink, clink, clink sound to it. You know immediately. When you hear it, you go, what was it? Oh, no. Because you know. Anyways, we get there in the morning, we're putting our boots on, and I had never heard that sound before. And the hook tender goes, oh my god, he didn't. And everybody's like, oh, yep, sure did. And I'm like, did what? Now hurry up, get your boots on. He lost it out of the tube. Sure enough, when we cut it, put it back on, we hadn't put the carriage back on it. They just ran it on, kind of picked it up, and was like, oh, okay, it's all good, let's go home. It wasn't all good. So in order for him to get it slacked down far enough to get the skyline into the carriage, he had to slack it all the way down. Well, on this particular yarder, the drum was like right here, and he wasn't setting up high enough to see it. And the nub was on this side, so when it come over, he thought he still had like a half a layer, and they needed like this much. Just, oh, give me this much, and he slacked it. Well, just as he flipped it under it. So that's my experience with going up a tube. The first time I ever had to do it, I did it 3 times in 2 days. So after that, like I said, most of the yarders I ever worked on after that were all 70, 50, 75 10-foot tower, so after going to the top of a 110-foot tower, 70 feet is nothing. Especially when 45 or 50 feet of it's got a ladder, you know? Oh. Different times, though, I'll tell you that. Different times. It was, I'm glad I broke in when I did. Like I say, I really haven't gotten to do a lot of old growth logging. Enough of it to say, you know, yeah, I've chosen